Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at the feature race at Saratoga on Wednesday. It's race number 8, and it's the Tail of the Cat Stakes, a restricted event for older horses going 7/8 of a mile. Let's take a look at this field. They only were able to scrape up 5 for the Tail of the Cat, but a very promising runner from the Chad Brown barn is your 7-5 morning line favorite. That's Southern District, who's won his last 3 races, 2 with triple-digit buyers, and is now going to sprint for the first time in his career.
Yeah, he never sprinted in his life. He has won a couple of one-turn miles, earlier this year. So I guess you could say that might translate to success at 7 furlongs, Dan. I don't know. 7-5 is pretty light.
Can't argue with the Timeform US pace projector. The 2 horses bookending the field from a post position standpoint should show speed. The one Isolate has went gate to wire at Hawthorne and at Fairgrounds in his career and at Gulfstream. But Mr. Phil is very fast out of the gate, and he was in a pretty tough spot last time out on a hard chase against a very good horse.
They stepped him way up in class there. He won his first 3 starts off the claim for Actress and Company. So they decided to try grade 2 with him last time, and you just can't go with Jackie's Warrior, Dan. I think you want to give him a pass for that. I think he's going to show speed from the outside here.
The number 1 is Isolate, coming in for trainer Tom Amos. This horse has won 3 out of his last 4 races, utilizing his good early speed. Let's watch his race at Hawthorne last time out. This is the Work All Week Stakes, and from the get-go, he went after the runner-up, the favorite Knees Deep in Snow. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more closing from the back of the pack, but the pace looked honest enough, and Knees Deep in Snow is a pretty good sprinter. He'd come back to run 3rd in the Kelly's Landing behind last year's Breeders' Cup Sprint winner Aloha West, and then recently ran 2nd to Jackie's Warrior in the Vanderbilt with a 99 buyer, so this horse ran okay this day.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he took the race 2 knee deep in snow here. He got the better of him pretty easily through the stretch. You're right. There was nobody else doing anything in that race, but this horse did what he had to do to beat the favorite that day. It was a good performance for him. And it was second off the layoff, off of a little bit of a layoff too, which it feels like maybe that was, sort of key for him. I don't know. Listen, I like his races. He has speed from the rail. I guess the 7 furlongs could be something of a question for this horse. I also kind of feel like this is a pretty good test for him. I know he beat a good horse last time, but he's got some talent lined up to his outside here, and there's also some other speed in this race.
And the 7 could be an obstacle, I believe, especially if he does go with Mr. Phil early, and that could certainly soften him up for the turnbacks. And we generally like turnbacks going 7 furlongs. One of them is the 2 Awesome Jerry, and I've always been a fan of the source when he was 3 and sort of just knocking on the door in races for Sappy Joseph, but they've concentrated him in 1-turn races this year, and I think that's what he's wanted. He pulled off a big upset in a second-level allowance, 3 starts back, came right back to win at Keeneland, and then last time out faced a good field that included Cody's Wish and 3 Technique and the Hanshin at Churchill. I think 7's good for him. I don't think he needs to be outpaced early. 7-2 is fair in a 5-horse field.
Those are all the things that I liked about him too, Dan. You have to remember this is a horse too who started out winning the first 2 starts of his career, and then they just got a little ambitious with him. They ran him in a bunch of stakes races, several of those around 2 turns. I just feel like most of that stuff didn't work out for this horse. They sort of started over with him this year after a layoff. I really liked his win at Keeneland in April, as you mentioned, that one where he pulled off the upset there, because that day there was a competitive pace in front of him. He just sat off of it and came and ran him down. His next start, they put him right up with the pace. He won again with a good figure, and I thought he ran fine last time in a good field.
And we've seen Safi, figure these horses out as they get older. He turns them back. Horses like New York Traffic, horses like Awesome Jerry, that always had the ability. Now maybe they're sort of reaching peak maturity and finally fulfilling that potential at these correct distances. Southern District's the horse to beat. I don't think there's any doubt about that, considering he is coming in off a 3-race win streak, and those figs are extremely gaudy. His last race at Churchill was a 3rd-level allowance, and they were hitting, it seemed, in the early portion of that race. He just dropped back, swept by, and got by. I'm a little bit concerned about him being outrun though early in this race.
I am too. And again, maybe the 7 will be fine for him, but I still think that sort of remains to be seen. He did look good winning last time with a triple-digit buyer, but man, I mean, they were really going at it in front of him there. He just sat it out and then came with a run through the stretch and picked them up. I mean, he should have some pace in front of him here, but I don't think they're going to go that fast.
Repo Rocks is an underrated veteran. He's been around for a long time. In his last race, he had no chance against Life is Good in the Nehrude when that horse just ran away and hid. And of course, we all saw and were wowed by Life is Good winning the Whitney with a 107 buyer last week. He's tactical, he's underrated, and he can win a race like this.
Yeah, he can. He's another horse I would just kind of wait and see what kind of price you can get on him, because I do feel like he's one of those. Can he win? Yes. Is he the kind of horse you want to be taking, any kind of short price on in a race like this? I mean, personally, I don't. I know that he was never going to win last time, and he gets the 97 because it was a fast race. He did win with a 99 back in April in his first start for De Prima, and he ran well that day, but that wasn't much of a field, Dan. I don't know. This horse is fine. If he's some kind of big price, you can use him. I would just you always want to be aware with Repo Rocks too, Dan. He does not get out of the gate very well all the time, and I don't think he can afford to make any kind of mistake here.
And Mr. Phil completes the field. Kendrick Carmouche aboard for Rob Atras, who just turned this horse's fortunes around after claiming him for $32,000 in February. You mentioned the 3 consecutive wins, including a 101 Beyer performance at this distance at Belmont 2 starts back. And in the True North, listen, they tried to win the race. At least give him credit. They went after Jackie's Warrior early, and unfortunately, they paid the price. He's got the outside post, which gives Kendrick plenty of options. I like this horse better when he's on the lead, but he has shown the ability to sit second and win.
Yeah, true. I think he's better on the lead too. So we'll see how they decide to play. But you're right, the outside post gives him options, and his form was really good heading into the True North. So I'm not going to knock this horse. I can't say that I loved him, and I certainly don't love him in this race at 3-1, but he could win.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Tail of the Cat. It's the feature race at Saratoga on Wednesday. Awesome Jerry. Interesting move, getting back to 7 furlongs. I like him at 7. I like him at a 1-turn mile. He's always shown quality. The price will be there.
Yeah, I like his recent form, perfectly fine. I think he's got a great running style for this race. I think he could really fall into a trip here. And I do like him cutting back slightly to 7 here, although I'm with you. I think the 1-turn mile is fine, but 7 might be perfect for this horse.
As Mike mentioned, Isolate's going to get the acid test from a class perspective. Yes, he won a stakes race last time out at Hawthorne, but now you're in the big leagues up at Saratoga, especially dealing with a horse like Mr. Phil. I did like the horse he beat last time. I did like the way he won that race. I want to give him an opportunity for Amos. He's 4-1 on the morning line. 2-3-1-4 for Mike, 1-3-4-2 for me. It's the Tail of the Cat, where the horse to beat's been the recently impressive Southern District.